Hello, everyone! It is I, your digital lord and savior, Sigtal Lord, commissioner for the bulk of the tournaments with GMA, but in particular, commissioner for the GMA Gaming Captain's Draft Tournament. It is coming up here soon, more info to come, but I, along with this wonderful cast I have with me today, are going to discuss with you the players in the GMA Gaming Captain's Draft. But before we go into introductions and giving you all some sweet information, we're going to play you a clip from the update video we released last week. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. It's I, your league commissioner, Justin Sigtal Lord Smith. I wanted to provide an update about our Captain's Draft Tournament happening here soon. We've selected the 5 captains that will lead the tournament. First, Ravine in the top lane. Second, Huge in the jungle. Third, Lord of Admirals in the jungle. Your 4th captain will be Great Beard of Odin. And the last captain will be Prowler. Congrats to these 5 captains and good luck to them as they battle on the high seas. They will draft players on November 21st at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time live on Twitch. They will go in order 4 times, picking their shipmates for battle. After that, we will have 2 weeks of practice where teams will build synergy, pick band strategies, and plans for conquering the event. Leading into a double elimination tournament on December the 5th at 5:30 CST. The bracket can be seen here. Our first match of the night will be Captain Prowler versus his lordship, the Admiral. We're excited for you to join us for this night of incredible games. We will also have 3 special podcasts starting on 11/17 and each Wednesday after. Week 1 will discuss all the wonderful players in the draft. Week 2 will discuss Captain Prowler, the Admiral, and Captain Ravine. Week 3 we'll discuss Captain Huge and Great Beard of Odin. Join us at 7 p.m. Central Time for each podcast. This is going to be a fun event and new for all of us. If you have feedback, please go to our Discord. On the sidebar, use the event feedback tool. This lets us know what you like and what you don't like about this event. We hold events for our community because esports is fun when everyone's included. Good luck to our teams, and I'll see you on the Rift. All right. That was the update video. You can find that on YouTube. Feel free, please share. So, with me this auspicious night, we have quite the rowdy bunch. Some very intelligent gents, some players in this tournament. I have with me first the Taco King, the Sexy Bidet, the original Four Loco Addict. How you doing today? We'll go with Taco for now. Sound cool?
Taco is good. I wish I had some tacos on me, but I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, glad you're here, man. Then we have 2 of the most talented top laners in GMA history. First off, we have his lucky one himself. Got to get lucky. Lucky, how are you doing tonight?
I'm stuffing my space with tacos, so I'm good.
Ah, gosh, tacos would be fantastic. And then himself, Stat King, anime protagonist of the last of the last LCUS event, Eternal Source. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. I actually just finished some tacos. Glad to be here.
Man, I feel like I was the only one that didn't get the memo. It's all right. We'll fix our memos. I'll make sure I read the announcements tab. I know everyone else does. Well, guys, what we're going to do tonight for you and all our viewers... Oh, they're quiet? Let's turn them up. Let's crank them up. Let's get this. Let's get this. No. So, we have 5 roles to break down of players with 5 players per role. We're not going to be talking about this from the viewpoint of them being captains. The captains are included in these player pools, but we're talking about them as players of League of Legends. This is our pre-show to the draft. The draft is this Sunday, 11/21 at 7 CST. I hope that you'll join us. It will be live here on Twitch, and it's going to be a good time. Probably one of the most overproduced pieces of content that we've ever made, so I really hope you'll join us for that. Invite your friends. It's going to be pretty fun. So we're going to go from the top of the map down to the bottom, talking about these various players, and also giving you some little tidbits on how we think this preseason is going to affect this tournament. Probably the biggest guiding factor for how I think this tournament will play out will be players' adaptability to the new meta. Everything that players were reviewed under aren't accurate necessarily anymore. With these new items, as well as the changes to... the removal of Omnistone, the addition of First Strike, and the changes to Lethal Tempo, it's going to be a very different world that we watch. So, staying on track with the puns, the boats are rocking. All right? Well, let's start in the top lane. We have one of our competitors here with us that's got to get lucky. We'll try and pull our punches, but let's go ahead and start with Lucky. You can keep up with us, folks, here. If you go to our Discord, hit the D down below in Discord, and pull up the player value book as seen here. You can click on these players' names, see the information that we're talking about, and enjoy this wonderful data set. So if we're looking at Lucky, let's go ahead and remind everyone about how these scores are tabulated. First, each player is evaluated out of 100. These scores come from their Season 9 rank, their Season 10 rank, the current rank, which would have been the Season 2021 rank, average vision score, their CS per minute, their reviewed score, and roll win rate. These are not equally valued. If you look up here in the top corner, there are multiple weights, as like Season 9's rank would have been only half the weight of Season's 10 rank. Well, current rank is twice the value of Season 10. If you look at average vision score, 1.5. That's 1.5 times the number on this side. Average CS per minute, its weight is 1. Reviewed score, that is 20% of the total evaluation. That's 2, and then roll win rate, which is very valuable. That is also weighted at 2. This gives you that full image to let you know exactly what players are evaluated at. So Lucky right now is sitting at a 50.5. I think that numbers can be deceptive. If you look at him traditionally as a player in the GMA community, he's one of the most stable top laners. And I would like to hear your input, Eternal, as you've faced him a few times.
Stable is the exact way to describe him. It is incredibly hard to get any sort of advantage on Lucky while also trying to make sure you're not at a disadvantage. He is a solid rock, and watch out for that Urgot.
Yeah, he did stunt on us as the game progressed during his review game with Urgot. Some key ultimates really brought him back into the game. Taco, what you got to say about my dude?
So I definitely have been recently, just as of today, been looking through his recent gameplay, and we all know that Lethal Tempo is very busted right now. I don't know how long that will stay that way, but Tom Kench in the top lane with his new rework, imagine just laying 3, of his passive stacks on you. He is not gonna get off of you. He's gonna follow you all the way to the turret. He's gonna get on you and he's gonna kill you very fast. And that is definitely what Gotta Get Lucky wants to do. just like Urgot, you want to get in and you want to get past the person. You want to kill them early and get that stacking advantage on your lane.
Well, I think he's going to be a great baseline to view the other players at. Lucky, it would be unfair if we didn't give you the opportunity to talk about yourself while you're here. So anything you want to chime in about, anything that's been said?
I mean, the scoring system is simply broken. I mean, when you've got a 71% win rate on Urgot and you get a 50.5, it should obviously be a 10. Like, winning on Urgot's like eating cake. You just do it. Definitely some wonky scores here. So.
Well, this is all about feedback. Remember, viewers, if you have feedback, questions, comments, concerns, you can head to our Discord, go to the Important Links channel, and there is an event feedback link. We want you to tell us if this is broken. We're not taking this as gospel. This whole event is for us to better understand how players value each other. So please, participate, fill out the link, let us know your thoughts. So now...
I don't mean to interrupt, but gotta get lucky. I did send a document to Sig about your best champs, and Urgot was number 1. Just wanted to throw that out there.
And yet somehow I fed on him like a monstrosity in that play-in game. Like, I should definitely be fined and removed from the tournament. It's so sad.
Sorry for any interruption.
Yo, you good. So now let's just go down the list. In the top lane, we have Godzilla setting at a 48. If we take a look at my dude Zilla, the Kaiju in the top lane right now, you can see his score setting at 48. I think the number one determinant of that was he didn't play ranked this season. I think his score would be much higher, but he just avoided the queue altogether. So I think that might have skewed it a little bit down. I think he's still a high valued player. Anybody got any feedback? Let's go ahead and start with you, Taco.
Are you talking general about Godzilla?
Yeah, just
all time?
General about Godzilla.
Godzilla's got a large champion pool, from what I saw. It doesn't look like he has a standout style, necessarily. I think maybe he might lean towards a lane holder, something that can trade in lane a little aggressively, but also if he's getting punished with ganks, also hold his own and hold the tower. Just play a weak side and do it well. So I am expecting him to be on the tanky bruiser side of games.
Could be a good read. Eternal, what are your thoughts?
Well, you're gonna make me talk about the man after he dumpstered me 4 times. So he is very good when he's on an aggressive champion, like Wukong, like Yone. Even something like Mordekaiser, he's very dangerous. I guess we should preface this now, like, the scores that everyone's given, like, we should not be paying attention to just those. Like you said, it's just because of rank that he's 48, but I think he might be the best player available.
That's a bold statement. I look forward to hearing more about that. Just a little plug, as we'll plug a few times. This upcoming week, we do have this here in a few days, depending on upload schedule, either Thursday night or Friday. Eternal is having a mock draft spectacular, and he's going to have some great community members with us. It's going to be live on our YouTube. We'll make sure we remind everybody in the announcements tab, which I know everybody reads. Eternal, it should be a fun time.
Absolutely. Myself, Gregosaurus Rex, and Pointy have all made some mock drafts, and we're going to talk about them, discuss factors for each player, and it'll just be really great.
Well, I'm hyped. Well, Lucky, round us out on Zillow. What are your thoughts on the Kaiju in the top lane?
I mean, I've only played him once, and his set was pretty decent, so got nothing bad to say about the bloke, and hope to have some more fun and get some payback.
Oh, hype. Next would be Ukulele JJ. Ukulele J. Man sat on a caster desk for us during the Community Cup and is stepped up to play. Let me Now I look at it, his review score's missing. Let me input that real quick. Sorry, folks. Didn't realize we'd be troubleshooting while we did this. It's always a fix with me. All right, that was just 1 second. Consider this the big reveal. There we go. Final score 45.5. I think Jay, through my play experience with him, has an incredible talent for playing support tops. It's going to be high value depending on how you build your team. So captains, be on the watch. This dude's going to have some value to him. What are your thoughts? Let's start with you, Eternal, on Jay.
Well, I don't have a whole lot on him because I haven't seen much of him. His gameplay, but you hit the nail on the coffin with the support tops like Karma, Lulu, things like that. He will definitely be a sleeper, I think.
Well, good stuff. You got any insight for us, Taco?
Oh, I definitely do. So, as you mentioned, that you said he strives at making plays as a support type-ish top laner. I've seen him being playing a lot of Shen top, so that could be like a utility champ, all across the map and helping anybody in the team. I think that'll be really key in making plays for his team, whatever he lands on.
All right. Well, good. That's some deep reach with his pool knowledge. Good job. Lucky, anything to say about Ukulele J?
I mean, I'm definitely interested to see another Shen player in the top lane. It's been a staple in the league for some time, so be entertaining to see someone else's spin on it. See if they go a little more aggressive early and risk a fall off, because Shen needs gold to scale, or if they play back and just farm.
Let's. I'm excited to see exactly how this plays. All right, guys. Let me know if that fixed the audio issues. Again, no idea why that keeps happening. So, next up, Ravine. His name may lead you to think that he is a Riven and Vayne 2-trick, but this guy has some diversity. I'm wondering exactly what we'll see in terms of execution. So right now, sitting at a 56, the main driver of his score not being as high as I think that his rank indicates is definitely his vision score. Both in ADC and top, he doesn't show strong use of wards, but his ability to carry in fights and his mechanics are very strong. So I think he's going to execute at a high level. What are your thoughts, Taco?
I'm glad you called me, because I've got a small rant about Ravine. So, he's obviously a very skilled player. He knows what he's doing. He knows the champs that he plays. But the problem is, he always tries to press it a little bit too hard. He takes the risks that he doesn't need. There are opportunities where you can just squeeze your lane opponent out in top lane by slowly controlling the lane, like squeezing out the CS, like baiting out a gank where you can call your jungler to counter gank on you. But Ravine always wants to just throw it right into the turret. And I mean, he's great at it and he has the skill to do it, but sometimes that's not what you want to do. And I'm just worried that Ravine when he's drafting his team and playing, he is going to lose the game within the first 10 minutes. And that's my opinion.
It's a strong opinion. I think anytime you have a player that has high mechanical skill and they have an understanding of that skill, that leads to that decision-making process where they view the risk being worth the reward of getting ahead, especially on someone with a pool like him that's so carry-heavy. So that's a real in-depth look. Lucky, any thoughts on Ravine?
It's definitely going to be interesting. He plays a more aggressive champ pool, more carry-heavy champ pool. So with that, you're looking at a strong risk versus reward opportunity. You play for the risks early and can't get ahead, well, then you're not going to be worth as much in a team fight in a side lane, which bears itself out in mixed opportunities. So you're going to see a lot of people in this top lane that are going to play safe champs, aren't going to go head-to-head with him. So it's going to be interesting. Very interesting to see the Zami fun matchup, though, because Zami and him will probably go blow for blow on aggressive champs.
I think it very well could be the matchup of the tournament, depending if they play to their pool. You evoked his name, so let's go on and move to him. Zami Fun. Guy has shown incredible ability to play. He has a very strong game knowledge. I've had the benefit of playing with him a lot at the end of the season. Him and Ravine at the same time. They're really, they actually are pretty good friends, so they end up, them being on opposite sides of the lane, I'm pretty hyped for that. So with Zami right now, he is setting at a 60. Again, vision scores dragging him down. It does look like he really worked this season to climb and to attain a higher rank. Good for you, man. I think it's definitely been showing a lot in the play that we've had. Gregosaurus Rex calling it out. He also has some good caster chops. I feel you on that. I'm excited to see him play. Every time I play with him, I see a little bit more of his skill, and I'm just like, oh, just show me a little bit more when we play then. Let's hop on to you, Eternal. Eternal, Zami Fun, is he going to be high?
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. I already mentioned that Godzilla might be the best laner. Zami is going to give him a run for his money. The dude is such a wild card. Last year when he pulled out Fiora, Scion, anything like that, I played a normal with him one time, and he was like, I never played Nunu, I'm just gonna pull it out, and then gets a penta. Like, the dude can just play anything.
Well, I know it's going to be a strong performance, and I think you're right. High draft value. Taco, you got any deep wisdom on my dude?
On Zami?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just don't. He's a big question mark for me. I mean, his player score looks awesome, and I personally have never played with him as like a duo or in flex or norms anyway. So he's a total unknown to me, and I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the Rift.
I think it'll be pretty good. Lucky, anything about Zami? Or already do you?
I mean, I already laid out my comments, so yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I was just so intrigued I needed to hear more. Well, folks, that rounds out the top lane for the Captain's Draft Tournament. Go ahead and you can review those scores right now. Let us know in chat, do you think this is reflective of these players' skill level? We'd like to hear it. So, now let's move on to the next role. That's going to be Jungle. We have Sladen, Goonstomp, Huge, Lord of Admirals, and Menards. This is probably one of the most interesting roles in our tournament. With two captains in it, that means these other junglers are going to have high draft priority in my mind. But I don't know exactly how it'll work out, so let's hop into it. First up, Sladen. Sladen showed an incredible talent during his first split with us, which was the GMA Gaming Community Cup. Setting at a 47.5, it looks like he has invested in maintaining his rank consistently over the past 2 years. Low vision score has impacted his play, but even with those low numbers, the first 5 columns, first 5 rows, look at that reviewed score. When I got to set and watch my dudes play his review game, he played it on Nidalee, and it was textbook. He cleaned up. He had excellent understanding of mechanics and positioning, landing those spears at maximum distance. I think he's going to be really high value, and I hope everybody makes sure to check out his op.gg and his Mobalytics link. There's some gold in this mine. I'm telling y'all. Well, let me hear from you, Eternal. What are your thoughts on the jungler Sladen?
Well, I guess all I have to say about Sladen is that he can. Let me restart. I lost my train of thought. I have slight concerns for Sladen if he gets behind at all, because I don't think he played very well when he got behind last split. But hopefully he can prove me wrong, and he's improved but which he's already shown from his reviewed score. But I think I don't know. I don't have much on him, so I think he might not be super valued to the others.
I can get that. It is difficult when you're playing, and you're not used to playing in a team environment. Playing from behind really tests the skills that you have with communication, because that's really when it comes in clutch. And with the new season having the objective bounties, that could be an opportunity for players like Sladen that we all have these legitimate concerns about to prove, hey man, it was meta. I am king. So let's move on. Does anyone else have anything to say about Sladen?
I've got a little bit to say, I guess. I appreciate his aggressiveness. I was looking through his jungle logs, and it seems that he pressures his early game very strongly, which I love to see in this meta right now. And I think that more people, you can, when it comes to getting an early advantage, yes, a lot of the game depends on you snowballing it, but you have to get the advantage first before you can snowball. So I think it's very cool to see that he's pressuring a lot, and if he gets on a team that can help him do that, I think it's really good for his team.
Good stuff. Well, that was Sladen, first jungler we discussed. The next one is Goon Stomp, prior champion mid laner for the Blitzkrieg team during the Community Cup. So with him moving into this role, it's actually moving back into this role. He subbed for us in the community for a while in the jungle position. He excelled at it. Right now he's setting a 60 score. All these numbers, very high vision score. I will comment on the vision score. My dude plays a lot of Lee Sin. And I think if there was a crutch for junglers playing and getting a high vision score, it's Lee Sin, because it's vital to your kit that you put wards like in the middle of the lane during a team fight sometimes. So I'll throw a little shade at you, Goon. There's a chance this number is padded strictly based off of his pool. What are your thoughts? Let's go to you, Lucky.
I mean, there's not a guy I'd rather play with in terms of temperament in a competitive environment or situation. So definitely appreciate having him in the jungle where you get flamed like no other from every brother. So yeah, great champ pool, great skill, and a lot of fun.
Taco, let's go to you.
Yeah, so from what I wrote down with Goonstomp is he's got a insanely large pool of champions that you can play in there. Like, champions that you would never expect to play in jungle, which might have to do with, like, the meta and things like that, but also with just his knowledge of different champions. So, honestly, when you're playing against him, you might as well not bother with, like, banning things from him, because he's just gonna, like, go like peek around the corner and do something that you don't expect.
Insightful. Eternal.
Yep, just a couple things to help chime in on what Lucky said. I think Goon might be the most valuable jungler that isn't a captain, just solely based off of his ability to not tilt. No matter how much of a loss the game seems to be at, he never wants to forfeit and just keeps playing and does his best. So, having tilt proof in his community is huge. Also, ban Lee Sin.
I like it. He has sharpened that Lee Sin to a blind knife. I think it's going to be pretty fun if it gets through seeing him play it. He might be the best Lee Sin player in the community. And if Pro Play shows us anything, I mean, he's going to be on a Chinese team in no time. So that was Goon Stomp. Heading back to our pool of junglers. Next up, we do have one of the captains, Huge. Huge is a familiar face with us in the league, setting it up. Silly high vision score. It moves a lot of his other stats just really don't matter as much. And the thing that really intrigues me about this vision score, he doesn't play support that much. It's all jungles, and it's not things like Lee Sim. He is an aggressive, engaged tank player, and dude is going to really rock some socks, I think. Setting at 61 right now, I feel like he is going to do some incredible work. Let's go ahead and start with you, Eternal. You spoke last. You go now.
To be completely honest, being a somewhat newer member of the community, have only seen you play support. So, for me personally, he's the wild card of the group. I have not counted.
Way to be like, Sig, you're wrong. He's a support player. Forget what you said. I'll double down. In the past, he's done such a strong job with champs like Zach. When the meta was tank junglers, he was dominant in our leagues. So we'll see if that returns. We are going to be playing during the base preseason. Laka, these players are so bad. Man, I really hate bad opinions like that. It really sucks that people put in all this work to perform and show up, and then you just got to drop a sentence like this. Not even insightful commentary. You should be ashamed. Next up, let me hear your thoughts, Taco.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you called me. Huge. So, I have had the privilege of knowing him personally, and he was actually one of the two people that introduced me to League way back in season 5 or 6. I can't even remember now. But he has an incredible knack for knowing the state of the map. He can always understand where we need to pressure, where we need to back off, where we need to just hold defensively, and he always is good at calling that out. And I think he excels specifically at playing bruiser junglers. He like Sejuani, J4, but he can do anything. So he's kind of like a wild card. You never know where he's going to be, but he's always going to be in the right place.
I dig it, and I agree. Lucky, anything to round out discussion of Captain Huge?
Huge's strengths are rooted in engage. His team will never lack for an opportunity to get on top of the other team, whether that's a Zach, a Rammus, a Maokai. So, yeah, he's a regular tree in the jungle.
I can't think. We've thrown out a lot of engaged tank names, and I think we've just about went through them all. So that just shows the depth and value of Huge's pool. I'm excited to see him play. So moving in, next jungler is our prior MVP for the jungle during the GMA Gaming Community Cup and total overall player MVP. That's Lord of Admirals. Lord of Admirals is sitting at a 63 score, mainly driven down by his vision score. He has a strong mechanics and understanding of carry junglers, but has shown more than enough ability to play things like a Mumu. He showed very strong understanding of Lilia back when she wasn't as prime a pick in our league. Really, there were only 2 players playing her, and one of the 2 was a top laner. So I think that with Admirals being a captain, he's going to bring high value to the team that he drafts, and his player scores reflective of that. 63. So let's go to you, Lucky. You what are your thoughts on Admirals? Of course, he's very highly decorated with us, but what do you think?
Seems like a stand-up fellow who's really got a good personality. Someone I'd really want on my team. Really enjoy being around. When you get into these type of games, the personality of a team says a lot about its success, and ability to stay positive allows you to improve as the tournament or season goes on. So aside from his mechanical prowess, I think his teams will have a good opportunity to move forward from a mental standpoint.
Very valuable. Intangible stat. Let's go on to you, Taco.
Yeah, so about Menards?
No, Lord Admirals.
Oh, Okay, yeah. My bad. That guy is the one person I've been very scared of. I played last split, and whenever I was up against him, I was very scared. That guy, I don't know what it is about him, but he just knows where to be at the right moments. When, like, he's very good at timing when a laner is being pushed in, and the laner communicates to him that, like, oh, it's not warded or it is warded, and he can go right in and swoop in, and he capitalizes right on everything you want him to capitalize, and that will just lead into getting neutral objectives, which is very good. I think he is probably the most dangerous jungler in the tournament.
Very high praise. Eternal, round us out.
Yep, I'm expecting pretty much around the same level of performance as he provided during his MVP season. I do have a pro and con for him, though, and that kind of tie in with each other. The pro, if he's ahead, he's going to snowball. The con, if he's behind, he's never going to catch up.
I think when you go back and you watch the captain's draft combine that we had, his game on Hecarim was strong, but you're right. He wasn't able to get momentum from behind to stabilize. So there's some deep insight there. I hope the other captains and the rest of the players in the league will take that in your mind. Give it a little slot there to save. So I saw in chat, LOA versus Menards, a tale as old as last split. Well, probably his nemesis last split was the jungler Menards. So let's hop in and talk about Menards next. So with Menards, he is a very solid player. You can see his Season 9 rank, Season 10 rank, current rank, some of the highest numbers that we can give. Vision score, very high for a jungler. Everything, very high. Setting there a 50% win rate, giving him that 5 setting there. Setting at a 5 means that he is at a sub 50% win rate, between 50 and 45. So I think that probably has a lot to do with the meta, but you can't describe Menards without discussing champ pool. Kayn is almost an instant ban when you're talking about this guy. He shows so much mastery on execution, positioning, and team fights with it. But even then, you ban that away. He's got such a unique pool, like with Gwen. You don't really see Gwen jungle much, but this guy executes with it so well. I think he's going to be high value for this tournament, and I'm excited to hear some of our opinions on it. Lucky, what are your thoughts on Menards, a.k.a. Clagstrong?
Ban Kayn, then waste your bans elsewhere, because his Kayn is the strike of God up on the map, but then you just got no hope because he's got talent across the board. And the guy only played 80 games of ranked this year. Props to him for not getting drawn into the quagmire of playing 5 million games of ranked. So I wouldn't worry about the win rate too much, but one hell of a player, and not someone you want to be opposite from with his level of mechanics.
Good points. Eternal.
Well, I think Menards may very well be the most valuable player that isn't a captain in this draft, solely because of pick ban. When he subbed in last season, after his Kayn and Gwen performances, he got the first 3 bans pretty much every single game. So unless people change their ban strategies against someone like Menards, picking him for your team just opens up the rest of your team to get their staple picks. So it's good. Whoever's team Menards is on, watch out.
And let's wrap it up. Taco, you got any deep insight into this terror of the jungle?
I do. So like I said about Lord of Admirals, I said that he wants to seek out and dominate the jungle of the other person. And I think that depending on how the draft goes and who he gets paired with, especially mid lane, we all know that mid lane jungle right now, the interactions between the two is very key to dominate neutral objectives. And if Menards can get his hands on, like, say, a Kayn, as we all said, or even like a Morgana, but paired with a mid laner that also has lane dominance, it could be deadly, and they could win the game before 10 minutes just by pushing everybody out and taking all of the neutral objectives at spawn.
But is it potentially less impactful this preseason now that we're seeing scuttlers being reduced in value? I mean, the XP is tremendously reduced. Heck, they're even reducing the graphical size because they're reducing that. So reduces the early impact of a rotating mid to scuttles. So potentially something interesting to watch.
Very, very true. Very true.
I think the greatest change with this jungle is going to be the impact on carry jungles, where if they could dominate early game, get that scuttle, prevent your opponent from getting a scuttle, you could really walk away with not only an XP advantage, gold advantage, but map advantage for the first while in any game. That's not going to be the case anymore. So I think other players that can just play engage, play for their team, you're not going to be as far behind as you once were, considering objective. What's up? Oh God, the word escapes me. What's the prize when you take an objective? The
priority?
No, the gold you get when you kill someone because they had a bunch of kills or gold. That's
the bounty.
Thank you. Bounty. Why could I not remember the word bounty? Lord have mercy. That's right, Clack's wrong. Bounty. But that is Menards. So let's head back to our table of contents. And then let's round
to touch on bounties for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not that crazy to have gold on a dragon or Rift Herald these compared to the past, because we used to see gold as the main reason to go after dragons. And I definitely think it's going to be a beneficial change, because you're going to see more action, especially in pro play, where teams can see this as an opportunity to get back into the game by actually gaining that gold. So,
I don't mean to interrupt, but could we just give a brief outline of the changes that you're referencing for some people that might not know?
So the biggest one that we're discussing is the change where last season, if you were behind, short of stealing an objective, getting a pick, the normal things in League, that was really your mechanic to get back into the game. Well, now they've implemented bounties, booty, plunder, for taking objectives when you're behind. The map, the neutral objective will be lit up gold, or the objective, it could also be a tower, will be bright gold. And you'll be able to go take that for a large bounty and just get yourself right back into the game. So it's much harder to snowball now than it was a week ago. I think you wanted to talk as well, Eternal. Lucky. Any comments on preseason?
Nah, you nailed it. You put the plank on the ship to walk us off it.
Clever. Clever.
I hope we get so many pirate puns. It was one of the gifts I've given the community is a pirate themed event. I really think this is quite a competitive role. Jungle, each player is different than the last, and each one of them brings something unique to their teams. So out of these players, I don't think there's a weak point. I think that this is just going to be a very constant and very very fun role to watch. So then down from jungle, we do hop into the mid lane, and we're just going to go down the list. First up, we do have Chaosix, tied for MVP during the GMA Gaming Community Cup with Goonstomp. Chaosix had really a renaissance in terms of pool. Guys always had an ocean of champions, but just showing his skill, just executing on so many different levels during the cup, it was very exciting to watch. So let's check out his score right now. Chaosix is sitting at a 61.5. The main drivers of his score are definitely his review score. His Zoe game during the Combine was so good. He did so good and executed so well. All of his bottom, the individual drivers for his player score, vision score, CS per minute, roll weight, all above average. his ranks are super deceptive. As you see, 3, 5, 4. He doesn't really invest his time into ranked. And one of the issues, if you look, there's a note. He didn't have enough data for us to give you a hard number on some of those statistics at the bottom. I really had to deep dive into Chaosix and look at 2 months worth of game history. During that 2 months of game history, having to look and review several games, he had 1 game of flex and 2 IRFs. The rest of it was ARAM. So I had to look into a lot of different statistics, take a look at his play history prior to those 2 months on specific champs in the mid lane. It was quite the deep dive, and I feel much more in the know about Chaosix's pool. Dude is a monster, and I think he's just going to shine in this tournament in the mid lane. Let's go ahead. Hop to you, Eternal. What are your thoughts on Chaosix?
I think Chaosix is the most slept on mid laner that we have. Maybe the most slept on player in this entire league. The dude never gets enough credit for how well he does, and I think he's probably top 2. He's the first or second best mid laner in this pool, in my honest opinion.
Good stuff. He is the king potato, Gregosaurus. Taco, any deep insight into Chaosix?
So, I have a very weird take on mid lane. I think everybody in mid lane is very good at what they do, but in different ways. Personally, like, I think, for example, Gank Bot, he is good at anything you plug him into. He's going to succeed at it. He's going to dominate at it. But I just think that he is going to dominate pretty much every other person in the league. Besides, this is a bold prediction here, Pointy. I think Pointy is going to do very well because a lot of people in our league love to play Magic or AP people in the mid lane, and I think Pointy has the depth to play Rakan or Pantheon, and I think that might upset some teams.
Could be. I'm excited for a deep dive into Pointy. Anyone else got anything about Chaosix to round out the discussion?
Well, I mean, he's an all-time pillar of Montani Semperporo. He's a multiple-time Clash champion. He's rocking out all around the clock as we approach Christmas, and he's gonna light this tournament up with his LeBlanc, with his Zoe, and who knows what other champ he's gonna pull out of his bag of tricks. So it'll be a fun time.
I think so. Again, that was Chaosix's first mid laner in this pool. So now you had brought him up, so we'll play skip. Let's go ahead and talk about Pointy. You say that he could potentially be the player to upset GBP, Gankbot Police, who we will talk about probably last now. I want to follow this chain of conversation. If we're going to talk about him like the raid boss, then let's bring him up at the end. So my thoughts on Pointy is I believe you are correct. He does have an exemption, a pool that is exemplary, and it also does include things like the Aurelia, things like the Rakan that are very probably could play into a AP assassin very well. So considering the changes to the items that have happened, this could be the cup for Pointy. Right now, looking at his score, Vision is the driver that brings him down from a level of excellence, like I believe that he deserves to be in. His reviewed game, c'est magnifique. He got a 10. Roll win rate more than above average. And you can see this season, probably the one where he played the least amount of ranked, did not climb as high. So I don't know if it's as relevant, but it is worth noting every player. Just pardon me 1 second. Woo, getting a little dry. Every player that didn't put in the games this season missed out on the changes to the itemization and the impact that that would have. And though I feel like you can get that in normals, it's not the same as when you play versus rank. We all know that there's a different level of execution there. So I don't know what you would have changed with evaluating that, but all around you can see his score shows that he is an exceptional player with a lot to be concerned about if you're laning against him. So let's hop to you, Eternal. What are your thoughts on Pointy?
I love the man. He was one of the first friends I had in this community, but he has a flaw that may or may not be fatal for this draft, since this is a whole entirely new thing that we're doing. 2 splits ago when he was mid, and the last split when he was top, he played very well every single game that he came out to play, but he could never carry. And Pointy is known for being able, or supposed to be known for being able to carry games. So whoever drafts Pointy needs to make sure he has some help, because I don't think he can carry alone.
Bold prediction and a huge call out. I think it's worth noting with your comment that he's viewed as that, and it definitely skews your view when you tell someone that he's the carry. I think that you're correct. He excelled. But my question would be is what do teams need to do to enable him? Because usually that's just one missing piece that you're able to put in place to activate a player like Pointy. So I'm excited to see if he gets drafted to a team that allows him to be enabled like that. So what are your thoughts, Lucky? And then Taco, I'm going to give you another chance to talk about your boy.
Have you ever dealt with a pointy stick? It hurts. Playing versus Pointy hurts. Guys plays everything under the sun because he's got a lot of talent and can learn champs fast, and he's played. He'll play anywhere on the map. So I'd plan on feeling the hurt if you're playing versus him. So.
I think that's an interesting point to bring up is adaptability, and it's not something I think we've really looked at a lot of players in the scope of, where people that consistently play the same champions have a strong understanding because of knowledge built up over time and through experience. We're completely turning that on its head by having a tournament 13 days, 20 days into the preseason, where things that we experience today could be hot patched. Everyone remembers last preseason, Amumu soloing Baron. So what's going to be that broken pick that regardless of pool, teams are going to prioritize? I think Pointy is one of the people who will be able to take advantage of that with his strong flexibility and his mental dexterity. But I'm going to give you the opportunity, Taco. Let's round out talking about Pointy. You already said he could potentially be the upsetter in this mid lane pool. Is there any additional info, any other additional truth bombs you want to drop on us? He is a former 2-time LCUS champion. That's exactly right, Gregosaurus.
Yeah, that's also why I singled him out as a very important part of the league. And I mean, as you said, like as the meta defines itself, especially at this time of year, as we all know, it changes, it adapts. Like we've got a lot to deal with, and I just think that whoever meshes the best, and it appears that Pointy has done a very good job of meshing it into any team he's plugged into. I'm just gonna plug my faith in him.
And that'd be a good thing to do. Tuxedo Mass chiming in, taking some notes on my end. Everyone, Tuxedo Mass is going to be joining us on the caster desk for our event on the 5th. Quite the gifted guy. It was fantastic to hear him during our combine. We're glad you're here with us, Tuxedo. Next up, as we move on from Pointy, we will discuss Greatbeard of Odin, another captain with us, and probably one of the scariest players in the tournament. Guy has incredible level of execution that I believe has guided him throughout his time in the GMA game community. He's changed positions a few times, but this is really where his home is. He has a almost 100% ban rate on Akali during our events, and ones where it does get through, like the Combine, he just completely dunks on you. And he has such an understanding of the champion. He did it during the Combine with an AD build that was incredibly off meta at the time. So big ups to Odin there. So if we're going to talk about Odin, I think it's very important to look at his score in two ways. One, his rank. Guy is consistent, always placing in that plat range. I think that's very indicative of his score, of his play style. He's able to dominate lane, create those kingdoms. I think if you look at the bottom half of the categories, average vision score, average CS per minute, and his role win rate, I think that shows that he's more than consistent and capable of playing on those other champions. He has some other awesome picks that he flashes every once in a while. When you get to see that moments of shine with him, I think it could be an incredible event for him. One day of play, he's going to thrive in it. And he's just going to level up each match. So that brings him to a 65 score. Let's hop on. Go ahead and talk first to probably one of the most veteran players. Lucky, you've played against Odin a lot. What are your thoughts?
I mean, if you go late game with him, you better hope your support wards a lot, because he believes that enemy deaths are the only wards you need. So be real careful about going late game with Greatbeard of Odin. But, I mean, he does occasionally put down one or two wards in the late game with some kills too. So definitely not a terrible thing to have him on your team.
Eternal.
Personal experience, I can say that Greatbeard of Odin is maybe the best split pusher in GMA history for base races. What a fateful day that was.
That's one of our most watched TikToks, by the way. Shout out to Peach for managing our TikToks and our social media. Make sure you head to TikTok, add us, look up that TikTok where it's the base race. Option 12 versus Phoenix, right?
Yep.
Yep. Terrifying ending, down to a split second. So good insight there. Split pushing in lane management, one of the skills that separate a low elo player from a high elo player. So very good. And Taco, you finish this out.
I mean, it's hard to hear that I got pushed out of lane, but it is true. So I guess I will take that, and I hope all top laners will do better than me.
Well, he's an exemplary player. I think as a captain, Odin's really going to shine. I'm excited to see the team he builds around himself. So let's take a look and round out the next to the last, probably one of my favorite mid laners ever to play the game. That's Alpha. Alpha is a consistent player across multiple roles. He plays ADC, he plays support, and he plays mid. As a mid laner, he brings a level of aggressiveness. One of my favorite quotes that him and I ever had when we interacted, he's always usually on one of my Clash teams, and it's, I don't like to lose slowly. It's always aggression. And I love getting that energy out of him. And it's visualized in his score. Right now, he has a consistent rank, 665 breakdown. Then his vision score, very high. He brought the skills from the support role to the AD and to the mid role. His average CS per minute, that had to be adjusted. I did the math based off of reviewing all of his mid games. And then his reviewed score, a 9, a fantastic match with a role win rate of 7. This guy is going to be a phenom, and I feel like one of the things that is going to separate him is he has the ability to play carries, but if you put him on a Morgana in the mid lane, it's going to have almost the same impact. He plays so aggressively with it, you don't really miss any of that burst damage because of the understanding he has on those support champions. I think he's going to do very well. Eternal, your thoughts on Alpha?
Alpha being on his team for 2 splits is a great teammate. Always enjoy having him around. His champ pool for mid for all his mages that he plays, it is going to be spooky to play against. You're going to get poked out a lot, and you're probably never going to be able to kill him in lane.
I agree. Warning for those managing pick ban, Xerath. Guy's a phenom on it. Lucky, your thoughts on Alpha?
Oh, based on that review, how is Odin gonna get wards in lane if he can't kill Alpha? This saddens me. We need wards in the game. All banter aside, fun guy, interesting champ pool. Just not what Odin would call exciting, since he believes all mages should be banned from the game. But I think that Alpha makes them exciting and makes them a good time. So it'll be a fun matchup to see him go off against Odin and Gangbot Police.
I think so. And just a correction, Odin picked up Vex. He plays a mage now. Well, that is Alpha. Taco, do you have any deep insight? I about skipped over you.
What are you asking about?
Alpha, the mid lane.
Oh, well, I think he's probably low-key the best mid laner in the tournament. I think he's got a champ pool that a lot of us won't see until he just whips it out. And I think he's gonna surprise a lot of teams, because as we know in GMA, we purposely ban out of people that have specific strengths while playing certain champs in certain roles. But Alpha, I think he's got a lot of different champions that he can play in mid lane and ADC, and I think we're going to be surprised.
Well, it should be a good, fun time anytime you watch him play. I'm excited for it, and I hope he does well. So this will be now time for us to move on to the last mid laner for us to discuss, and that is the elephant in the room, the Popo himself, Gangbot Police. GBP is arguably the most talented player to ever play in one of our leagues in terms of execution, short of a challenger player that we had participate in our early events. Shout out to everybody that was able to play with Clark, when he played. It was quite a time. Right now,
I want to start.
Okay, happy to throw it to you. Let me give a score breakdown real quick. 10, 10, 10. The absolute highest that we could evaluate on a most recent rank. He actually was a higher rank on prior seasons, but we don't take that into account. Vision score is 3. I guess you don't need vision when the other team's dead. Average CS per minute is 8. Roll win rate is 6. Reviewed score of 10. He played LeBlanc, and it was one of the only times I cried out in just panic when I was spectating the game. Guy is just a phenom, and I think it's got a lot for us to talk about. So, Taco, you're excited. You take off.
Don't you worry. I am just agreeing with you. The dude is freaking cracked. He is insane. He knows what he's doing with Assassin's Mage, especially LeBlanc. I just throw my hands up and admit defeat.
An interesting take, considering what you said about Pointy, but I think there's some avenues to victory. So let's go to Eternal. Eternal, what are your thoughts on GBP?
From what little I've seen, the dude's a monster. What else can we say? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think in our GMA team setting, he currently hasn't won a game yet, right?
I was waiting to bring that point up, despite being quote-unquote cracked. Guy's yet to get a win. I think that's going to be the issue, is he's going to play on a level and an execution level that people that are that might be drafted with him might not be able to, I don't want to say like comprehend, but they won't be on the same page. It's going to take that 2-week period to build synergy before I think you get the value out of Gankbot Police. So I'm curious to see how it plays out, because for him to be as talented as he is and for him to have a reviewed score of 10, he hasn't won a game. So this very well could be just a big upset. We'll have to see. Lucky, any thoughts on GBP?
Yeah, so as a note, I definitely didn't hear anything y'all just said. I've never looked at the guy's profile, his score. He's simply horrible and should uninstall.
Jeez.
I got to clash with him one time prior to now, and he performed exceptional in the ADC role. We walked away with the championship, and I'm so glad that he's joined us for this event. Gankbot, thank you for joining us. No matter what, it's going to be fun to see your impact in the mid lane and how people view you. It's going to be a talking point pretty much on every podcast. So everybody, get ready for the narrative. It's going to be the narrative in the mid lane. Well, folks, that does wrap up the mid lane. We are going to move to support, but since we've been talking for a while, we have some new viewers. I just want to invite you. This upcoming Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Time, the GMA Gaming Captain's Draft will begin. The draft will take place that day. Each captain will draft players one at a time, going in order according to player score. Then, they will have 2 weeks to prepare with their teams and get ready for December the 5th, the day of the tournament. All games will be played on one day. It is a double elimination tournament. You can go to the announcements tab to view the bracket. It's gonna be a fun time. I hope that you'll join us. In these next 2 Wednesdays, we are going to have a team highlight special where we'll break down all the teams, get some information from the captains about their motivations, ways that they view the game, and how they view successful players. It's going to be a great time. I hope you'll join us. But let's hop in and talk about the support role now. So right now in support, we have 5 players: CB Hickey, Mixlink, Burn the Heretic, Gregosaurus Rex, and Princess Peach. Ashaway was a support in the pool. She has taken herself out of the tournament. Mixlink still has to play his review game. So pending approval and successful completion of his game, Mixlink will be filling that slot. We will let you know in the announcements tab as soon as possible. But we're still going to talk about him. He has a lot of play history with us in the league, so even if we ain't got a score to break down, let's hop into it. First up, CB Hickey. I had the honor of playing with Hickey on an iteration of the Blitzkrieg squad. He was the support for the team, and I feel like he did exceptionally well when given the right opportunities to thrive. Right now, CB Hickey is sitting at 43.5. That is 343, being the 9-10 and current rank. A average vision of score 6, which very good. Reviewed score of 6, and a roll win rate of 5. So that's what's driving his score to be what it is. I think if I had to describe Hickey's strengths, it's going to be he's super aggressive. He plays champions like Nautilus incredibly well. He has a good understanding of where the skill shots need to be and who they need to be on. That led to some success in the game he got to play with.
I was waiting for him to.
Okay, we can hop on over to you, Taco. What you got for us?
So, personally, I've talked to CB Hickey a lot. And I think he's a low-key sleeper in the league. The dude is a very good support. He does a very good job of curating. I'm looking for a word. He wants to fill a space for the ADC. He wants to help them succeed. And I don't think that he's been able to do that in many roles. Like, many ADCs are like trying to bulldoze over him, and instead of working with him. So I think that he is one of those people that could help.
I agree.
That's just
I agree. I think that he's going to be overlooked, and I think he's going to be pretty clutch for whatever team he lands on. Eternal, you got any insight?
Yeah, I got a little bit. If we're just going off of their scores, I think CB Hickey may be one of, if maybe the lowest. Let me rephrase that. Sorry, he's worth a lot more than what his score says. Is what I was trying
very
to
true.
get out of that. I played a couple games with him, bot lane, a few days ago actually, and he has quite the potential. With no matter what bot lane he has with him at carry, and he's a great shot caller as well.
Very true.
That was a highlight for me that I don't think that I could mention enough. He's communicative, and he's got strong mental. I value that so extremely high. I really wish that there was a separate scoring system, and I don't think I ever want to try to quantify it, but it's the intangibles that's mental. It's just the person that's got the it factor when it comes to playing in the clutch. I think he's got that in spades. Lucky, you've been with us for a while. So is CB Hickey. As our tenured veteran on the desk, what is your opinion on Hickey?
He's great friends with many people and great dude. Interesting champ pool. Always fun to see him around.
I agree. We're very glad that you're back with us, Hickey. We hope you're here for a while. Next up in the support discussion, we do have Mix. Mixlink has traditionally been a jungler with us. He plays a number of different champions, and I'm excited to see how he executes. Amumu was added to the support pool towards the end of last season, and it's a champion that he has a lot of playtime on. I think that's going to translate very well into his time in the bot lane. Does anyone have anything they want to say about Mix?
I think he's just going to be the mixing link with some team out there, and he's going to take them all the way.
I'm just over the moon. Matter of fact, when I review Mix, I'm going to add 20 points to his score just for that pun. So, Mix, write a thank you letter to Eternal. Sorry, to Lucky, not Eternal.
And me. Write one to me as well.
Yes, thanking him. That's what I was going to say. I was getting ready to throw it to you. So, what do you have to say about my dude?
I am looking forward to seeing his tank pool in the support role, because the dude is known for his tanks and just tank. So how can you go wrong with that? I'm looking forward to it.
No, it is exciting to see someone that plays tank. So tank could be activated. Taco, anything about Mix?
Yeah, I don't get too much. Support is very key, I think, and especially how we play and like mixing people together that haven't necessarily played together. But I think it's more important that they practice a lot more than they are good. I think the more practicing things, it means more than just being good.
Nope, 100%. I think once we get some scores on Mix, people will be able to do more of a deep dive into him as a support. We're excited to see it come up. Mix, we're glad you're in the tournament potentially. Burn the Heretic is our next support. Guy has had a renaissance in the role. He's picked it back up, and if you ask him, it probably reignited his love for the game. He did take a break from the game following the completion of the GMA Gaming Community Cup. When he came back and we got to play a game with him, he was giddy. He was having so much fun playing Rakan support. And since then, I've only seen him branch out, play different supports, and really enjoy the game. Right now, if we break down his score, he's stayed consistent in the bronze to silver range for the past 3 seasons. Average vision score, but he wasn't traditionally a he wasn't traditionally a support, so I feel like that score might not be indicative of where he is now. Average CS per minute is 2. Reviewed score 9. He played a Rakan game, if I remember correctly, for his reviews, and it was very strong. He had very good knowledge of when to go in, how to utilize the quickness, and it was a fun game to watch. Roll win rate is a 7, so this guy definitely min-maxing the weight system with a low scoring on rank and a high scoring on execution. He's going to be a good value in my mind. Let's go ahead and hop on over to Lucky. Let's go with you first. We've got to see Burn the Heretic for 2 events now, as well as lots of GCFs. You got any opinions on this kid?
Fun personality, good guy to play with. He's offered that he's going to serve an all-for-one, one-for-all buffet, either to the enemy team or himself. He's going to engage non-stop, so that may benefit you, that may harm you, but either way, it's going to be entertaining.
I agree. I like it. It's either 1v9 or 9v1. Either way, he's winning. So, what are your thoughts on him, Taco?
Well, I disagree. So I think that you should have people devoted to certain teams, personally. And while it's fun to make sure that everybody has like what do you call it? A tunnel for funding, I think that we should spread the talent across different places, and that is what I think.
Great. Eternal, you round us out.
Being able to play with him in the bot lane as well, I think he may be just one of the more underestimated players in this little tournament. He is also a great shot caller on all the CB Hickey and is just a chill dude to be around. And we need someone to hover Vlad every pick ban.
Got to keep that threat level high with Gregosaurus. So next up is the man himself, Gregosaurus Rex. 10 points to Eternal for the transition. I can already hear Taco popping off. So right now, breaking down this score, he has min-maxed the support position to the best of his ability looking at it. Past 3 seasons, very consistent in his ranking between Platform Gold. Just one moment with me. Sorry, folks. With an average vision score of 7, that compensates a lot for that CS per minute. A perfect game from his reviewed score, and a roll win rate of 6 make him one of probably the most intimidating supports in the event. I think it's very fun to watch Gregosaurus play. He has such a diverse pool, and anybody. One of the first experiences I had when I played in a tournament myself was Greg's Thresh. Just completely getting into my mind. He knew where I was at all times. His hooks always connected. His lanterns were always there in clutch moments. He has a level of understanding in the game that is very difficult to teach, and it's going to be very fun to watch him. Taco, you are pretty hyped about this. Tell me what your thoughts are on Gregosaurus Rex.
Well, so for Gregosaurus Rex, I think that he is going to dominate in his draft. I think that he's going to pick the right people, and honestly, I think that he's going to find the right people that are in the meta right now. So
having a strong meta read is very important, especially in this preseason tournament. Good insight. Lucky, round us out with discussion. Lead us into this discussion a little bit more with Gregosaurus Rex.
I mean, if you want to dig a relic, a fossil out of the attic, I suppose Gregosaurus Rex is simply the best one you can find. especially as an ADC. He's got tremendous skill, a lot of great mechanics, absolutely phenomenal warder, and mechanically talented and very anti-tilt.
Well, Eternal, you were recruited to the Sauruses by Greg himself, so I imagine you have a strong opinion on him. Do you mind to share?
The Dino King is the best support here. That is all.
Well, Rex does reign supreme in the opinion of Eternal. I'm excited to see you in the event, Gregosaurus Rex. You're always such a highlight. Let's continue this discussion of the supports, rounding it out with Peach. Peach was the support MVP for the Community Cup, and I think such a strong player in terms of pool. With knowledge of mages, it could potentially be second to none. Has a very strong understanding, even though a lot of people have a strong opinion on his Yumi. We'll let other people talk about that. So, Peach, right now, let's break down your score. Right now, in terms of rank, Peach is very stable, sitting around a high and low gold range for the past 3 seasons. Average vision score of 8, CS per minute is 1. Reviewed score was 8. That was the game that he had on Yumi with Lord of Admirals. I thought that game was very interesting. A highlight of the match was seeing the Yumi on the Hecarim trying to climb back into the game. Lots of incredible team fights and wonderful positioning. With Yumi, it's so important. Even though in laning it's boring with positioning, there is a there is a level of execution late game with the ultimate that there is a skill level to. So I think it's very strong that Peach has an understanding of that. With a roll win there at a 6, that rounds us out to 61. I think this is going to be one of the players that we end up talking about a lot. Eternal, you start our conversation on Peach.
It's hard to not love Peach. Just a great guy. His champ pool is very broad, full of quote-unquote not ugly champs. You can't ban him out. He just shows up no matter what he plays. It's going to be hard to beat him.
Hard to agree. Lucky.
I mean, if we're playing in the Nintendo space, I'd have to say he's more of a Bowser than a Peach, because I don't remember Peach being the villain of the castle or the villain of the bottom lane, and Peach definitely knows how to be the villain in the bottom lane. So not a bad person to have on your team.
Hard agree. Incredible guy. Taco, any opinions on Peach?
I don't really got too much to add, honestly. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. We've sung his praises. If we were going to be critical, it's the lack of tanks. So be advised. Tanks are ugly, so he doesn't play them. If I remember correctly, Rel is in his pool. Of course, he can probably play Leo, but just doesn't like it. Keep that in mind when you're looking at evaluating this player, captains.
This is why he will never play Bowser in Smash.
That would be a sight to see. So that rounds out our discussion of supports, and that will take us into the final role we need to discuss tonight, and that is going to be the bot carry role. This is probably our most diverse skill role in terms of how you interpret their pools, with some of the most tenured players in the league, as well as one of the freshest faces. So let's hop in. Right at the top, we have our friend here on the desk, Eternal Saurus. Eternal Saurus, if you look at his score, I feel like it's very deceptive. Prior to like a month ago, he only played like one ADC champion, and he's already shown incredible pool growth, as well as understanding in the role as someone that's laned with him since then. I admire players that reach and challenge themselves, and I feel like that's what he's doing here, playing in this role. He was one of the most talked about top laners during the Community Cup. He's put in the work this year. He's climbed to a higher rank than before. He had a rough review game, but again, that was back when he was first, I don't want to say learning the role, but it was when he was still developing a pool.
And I feel like the score is not indicative of exactly what he's going to accomplish in the tournament. So let's start with you, Eternal. What are your thoughts on yourself?
I will say, if there's anything good to come out of this, is that my second 80 game that I played this second week of the Combine was a lot better than the one I was actually scored on. But other than that, my score is pretty accurate.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I was going to round the conversation out about you with that. Your week 2 was much more impressive than your week 1. So people, hop over to our YouTube and check that out. Lucky, any thoughts?
I mean, ADC is always a challenging role to jump into. Lots of practicing clicking more, clicking faster, clicking different places, so lots of clicking. So I wish you much success in all of your clicking and, well, getting deleted, because your job as an ADC is to click and to attempt not to get deleted. So this is why some of us transition to top lane instead of to ADCs. So I wish you luck and many great successes.
No one can hear it, but I'm clicking a lot right now. I'm getting my practice in. Put me in the game, coach. Ready.
I think you are. Well, Taco is no longer in the chat. I hope everything's all right with him. But we'll move right along. The next AD that we have to discuss is the Brandanosaur. Guy has been a monster in all the GMA events that he has competed in. With my apologies, folks. I can't do two things at the same time. Right now, with regard to Brandana, the guy has been such a staple for us. When he came back and he played for the non-live squad, it was really fun to see him excel as he always does. And I feel like he could be one of the best draft picks in the bot lane just because of his ability to play beyond this score. This score is not indicative of his play at all, in my opinion. As you can see, past 2 seasons, he rocked an 8, setting at Plat 4, but then this season he didn't play as much ranked, set in Silver 1 to Gold 4 range. Average vision score, fairly low, comparative, but his CS per minute, reviewed score, and roll win rate bring him up to a 56. He plays Samira, and he plays a lot of hard carry champions, where if you get him fed or if he gets ahead, there's really no coming back into the game. I think that's going to be pretty exciting to see how it plays out. Eternal, what are your thoughts on this fellow Rex?
When I joined the league, the community a few splits ago, I think he was like one of the original known as can't be banned out kind of people, and even though he's in a different role from back then, that same precedent is still here now. Like, the dude is going to be hard to guess what he's going to play.
Good read. Lucky, your thoughts?
Having lived with Brandana and introduced him to this community, I can say with confidence that there's only one ban you have to make against Brandana, regardless of role, and you will successfully win the game. Just ban his Lucian. Hell of a fun dude. Hella skilled. Yeah, he didn't play as much rank this year. I'd still be scared as hell of him. So, hope he's on my team.
Good read. I think you're correct there. Guy's a monster in prior splits. Going to be a monster this time. Next up, Prowler. Prowler is one of the winningest players, if not the winningest player in GMA history. I believe he has 3 championships under his belt. Multiple, if anything, dominating performances, going all the way to a finals matchup during the last cup. So, guy is just insane. If we break down his score, again, another one of those consistent players, 8s across 3 ranks, and that's going to put him into Plat 4. Now, this is the role where people have said that he probably deserves a different score than what he has. And I think it's interesting people make that argument. His vision score is a 4. Again, that's probably driven partially by games in an off roll, but his CS per minute, reviewed score, and roll win rate, those I think are very accurate. If you look at his mobalytics information for the ADC role, he still has a very high win rate. A lot of games in during the season. I feel like the score is accurate, plus or minus a few points. So I'm excited to see how he performs this tournament. And I mean, I think even if we were to put him in like, I mean, he's played every role in the league except support. So if we put him in support with very little play history on it, dude's going to dominate. He's just so skilled at playing in a constructed team environment, and he's such a good communicator. So I'm excited to see how he performs. Let's hop to you, Eternal. What are your thoughts?
It will be exciting to see how much he's progressed from his first and second split as an AD carry. And I will be throwing a self-burn at myself for this, because I'm going to make a comparison with Prowler and myself in the role of AD. I think we need a good support, or we're going to flounder. So Prowler needs a good support, or I think he's going to flounder.
I think that will probably affect his drafting as a captain. We'll see how that plays. Lucky, your thoughts?
I mean, I think he'd be challenger if you could play Urgot in ADC more often. So that's always an entertaining thought. If I were to echo Kenos' thoughts, I would probably say that he'd say A-Prowl is a more talented, gotta-get-lucky ADC who loves to dive into the enemy team like a tank and try and kill everyone. And I think he's a very talented guy who's got a lot of competitive spirit, which can always be a challenge when you're fighting through a contentious game. So lots of talent, lots of opportunity, and fun guy to potentially have carry you to another title.
Could be. I mean, statistically, it's your best bet. Next up, we have the Pistol Crab. Guy is playing in a different position for us in GMA, but he does show more than enough competency in the role. His reviewed score was an 8. All of his indicators were fairly high for someone in the position, with a high placement in Plat 2 during Season 9, and this current rank being Gold 1. Guy is setting at a 68. He is insane. Crab is a stuff of legend, and probably one of the first natural growing fan clubs that we had in the community. The Peach brought his own, but Crab, he's converted people. We stand a Crab here. So, Pistol, we're glad you're playing with us. You're going to be exciting. Eternal, what can you say about Crab?
Crab. But also, he's going to be the guy that gives Brandana a run for his money. He's also a champion that's hard to ban out, and will play very high level of gameplay on no matter what champ he plays. He was on a Clash team with me, and we got first place because he carried us every single game. So, you know, it's going to be hard to compete against Crab.
Hard agree. Lucky. Lucky doing a very good Crab cosplay right now and losing the English.
He's so sweet.
If I could find the mute button, I would say that, you know, I just don't know if I want a team with a crab on it, because I don't want to be a crabby pirate, and I have a feeling that crabs are going to make me crabby, and it's all going to be downhill from there. So can't say I've ever played with the guy. He's got one hell of a match history. Can't say I've ever played against him. He's got a lot of impressive statistics, so it'd be fun to play against him or with him, and wish him all the luck in the world.
Oh, well, I can't wait to see the day that we get Lucky and Crab playing a game. It's going to be a fun time.
We could. There's a chance.
There is. It could happen. We'll see how the draft plays out. Next, and not least at all, but last, Stalinsky Hale. Stalinsky is a fresh face with us here in GMA. We're so glad that he is here with us. One of the Peaches prior has shown up and dominated when they've played. Incredible player. Consistent in rank, ending this year around Plat 4. Average vision score a 9. That comes from support time, but when I analyzed his time in the AD role, his support score almost bled over because of such a in-game knowledge and understanding the importance of ward placement and vision control. So I feel like that score is pretty on the nose for him as a player. His average CS per minute, not though. So we'll have to see how that plays into it. Right now, his reviewed score is set at a 6. Roll win rate is 5. I think that this guy is going to be a standout for us. And even though he doesn't have the tenure in the community, I think after this event, he's going to be a high priority teammate for a lot of GMA members. Let's start with you, Lucky. Any thoughts on Stalinsky?
This name is just too complicated for me. I can't provide any. I can't provide any review. Stalinsky? Like what? What? No, it looks impressive. Be interesting to see what he does. Warm welcome, and don't believe everything I say in trash talk.
Eternal.
New players like Stalinsky Hill, where we don't really know a whole much about them other than like the combine games that they play or looking at their mobilytics, is what's one of the most exciting things for me in this community, is just being able to see how well they can shine under the mystery of how well they can actually play. So I am excited to lane against Stalinsky in the future.
I think it's going to be a good time and a good player for us to end on. Folks, we are going to round out this podcast, this player preview special, with a plug for here in a few days. Watch the YouTube channel. You're going to get to see Eternal and friends go through a mock draft. They break down what they think will be potentially the teams we see drafted this Sunday. And this Sunday, we are going to have the captain's draft. It's going to be a fun time. It starts at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. We're going to go through all the players, get teams assigned. Oh, it's just going to be a blast. I know that you're going to love it. I know I'm excited for it. I hope you'll join us. I want to thank the talented analysts that I had with me today. Even though he left a little early, Taco really put in the work to get some information to provide us during this. Did a great breakdown. We're glad you were with us, Taco. Eternal, your energy towards mock drafts is just going to make watching your show all the more enjoyable. Thank you so much for joining us. Any last thoughts with regard to this upcoming shindig?
I assume by shindig you mean the video or
the draft. The draft in general. Anything that you want to say is going to be exciting for us.
Oh, I will play anything in the bot lane if it means I will be valued higher.
Interesting info to drop before your mock draft.
Will be an ocean for anyone that wants me.
It's going to be
Rex,
good.
ADC is what I'm hearing.
Uh-oh. Well,
It's gonna happen. Now that you said it, it's gotta happen.
oh, Lord. Lucky, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you on the desk with us. And you and I have had some pretty textbook times. We've casted some shutouts and even a few finals together. So I'm always pleased to have you on the desk. Anything you want to close out with us?
I hope everyone was sufficiently tilted by my puns and trash talk that they will dive my tower and feed me. And I will win a tournament.
Oh, big brain right here. Well, folks, on behalf of GMA Gaming, I am your commissioner, Sig Tall Lord, here with the Captain's Draft player preview special. Please watch our content over the next few weeks as we prepare for the final tournament of this event on the 5th of December. It's going to be a great time. You guys are what make it great. Esports is better when everyone's involved. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the Rift. Have a good night.